Hello, my dears. This is Resilient Lives, beaming you a little energy as we prepare to go into the weekend. Another weekend is upon us. So, how are you doing? Got to check in, make sure that everyone is doing okay. All is well here. It's I have a jacket on. It's a little nippy, when it starts getting in the 50s after it's been in the 80s, makes you think. But it's okay because we're alive. How are you doing, and what are your plans for the weekend? Well, I'm sending you some virtual hugs and love as we are just going through all of whatever it is. I mean, all of this uncertainty, all of the issues that are still causing us issues. It appears that the stress and anxiety levels are increasing. We're hoping that things will kind of taper off, but the stress and anxiety levels are continuing to increase. And how can we tell that? Well, anxiety is that feeling of unease that you feel within your body. It's that feeling that you get that things aren't just going just right. And so, of course, we want to put a flag on and say, okay, what is that I'm feeling? And of course, stress and anxiety are the things that we really look to avoid because they are the triggers. They happen when we are in uncertainty times. That happens when we are socially isolated or physically isolated, when we're alone. It happens when we don't have the support. And so these are key factors in triggering stress and anxiety. And we're gonna experience stress. I mean, that's part of life. But this time, the times that we're living in are just unusual times, and the stress that we're feeling is just being triggered every day, because every day is a new day. Every day another layer of stuff happens. And our job is to be aware of the things that trigger us and look in our toolkit to see how we're going to deal with it. And why do we want to deal with it? And, we could go to bed, we could sleep, but in order to thrive and to be successful in living, we've got to deal with it. Yesterday we talked a little bit about our way of being in the world. The whole world is going through similar things. And so it's not just us that has to figure this out. We need to respond to how we're feeling. Lots of people feeling angry and having frayed nerves, holding it together. How can we continue to hold it together? Well, that is something that we want to look at. We want to think about holding it together. So certainly, we're thriving virtually just by continuing most days to send a little love and a little support to each other, and hopefully your vital friends are checking in with you and helping you to realize what you're feeling and just being there. Another thing, a tool that we might want to look at adding to our toolbox, you know, I don't know, we got to go deep. We've been talking about meditation, and we've been talking about solitude and nature, but another thing that we might want to consider is emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence is something that has been around for a while. EI. There are so many acronyms, but emotional intelligence is that way of recognizing and using your emotions to help you to recognize what's going on. And you've probably been using this before. So basically, you're using your emotions as a guide. You're gathering it as data. You know, what am I feeling? And you're gathering this data. Well, I'm feeling afraid. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling this. So as we're gathering this data that we're gathering from our emotions, then we're taking that data and we're addressing it by changing, making adaptations, adapting to what we feel. So if something that we're doing is causing our emotions to get out of whack, then we're changing a behavior. We're doing something to sway the emotions in the way that we want to. And I hope that is somewhat clear. But we're talking about emotional intelligence. And basically, we're taking the information, the data that we're receiving when we start getting stressed and start getting anxious, and we're using our intelligence to say, what is that? And we're collecting the data. Well, how's that making me feel? That's making me feel like I can barely hold it together. That's making me feel not so good. And because that's the data that you collected, then you're going to seek to change the behaviors. And in changing the behaviors, you're going to maybe cut down on your phone time, cut down on your screen time, cut down on those things that make you anxious. You're going to make some adjustments because of the data you just received from your emotions. You're going to spend a little more time in nature. But you have to determine what adjustments and where you're going to make them. But you're using your emotions as data to guide you to making some adjustments. And so as we enter into this weekend, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy every day. But we are hanging together because remember, together is healing. And we're looking for ways, new ways, old ways, to help us during a time like this. And these are really crazy times. We have the pandemic now. We have the sports that have started tonight, Thursday night football, and the basketball players. They all have different slogans that keeps the racism issues right there so that change could happen. And it's everywhere. So I would suggest that you listen to your body. Try using this emotional intelligence and allow that to kind of guide your actions. If you're starting to feel like I am barely holding it together, I just don't feel I can take another thing, then stop. Press the pause button and listen to yourself and spend some quality time with yourself and doing those things that are going to help you to feel a little better. So on that note, enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Keep an eye on yourself. Remember, you can manage yourself. That's the key goal that we're doing, is managing ourselves so that we will thrive. So have a good night. Sending you a little love. Know that you're loved. And we will be in touch the next time. Bye-bye.